the Col de Grand Toilette, which is on my 30-mile cycle route ish, 36 miles I think, around resort. But yeah, just a quick summary of what the last 18 months have been and how life now looks very different in comparison to, well, so now based in Morzine, just in the French Alps, around an hour from Geneva. It's not a typical cycling destination, but for me it's been a hidden gem over the last few years. So we trained here in the summer of 2022 before hill climb season, in the school summer holidays, but then we quickly decided that we wanted to make the jump. So provisionally we said we'd do it when I was around 40, but we brought that forward quite a few years. So here we are, I turn 35 in a few days, having been here now for 18 months. So yeah, so we left the UK in November 2023, and this is our morning view. So Friday, 2nd of May 2025, who knew that Thursdays could be a bank holiday? We didn't. We had a bank holiday yesterday, managed to get 75 miles riding in, 8,000 feet, something like that, and actually my first social ride since I've been here for 18 months with the owner of Fat Tom's Cafe in Les Biaux. Went to do a recon of the Col de Saxel and up to the monastery, because there's a hill climb there on the 24th of May, which we'll see what the form's like, because it's a week after my stag do. So I'll have my best man to thank and the groomsmen if the legs aren't very good, but we'll see how we get on. This is where we live, and a few years ago things looked very different. I was a teacher in a high school, Ant was working for Majestic in Bangor as in a wine dealership, and we made the jump to move out here and work in the chalets with Boutique Chalet Company, with no real end goal as such, but we knew we wanted to end up in Morzine, but we didn't know what it would look like. The dream was to work in a private chalet, and fast forward 12 months, this is where we are. But in between there, we left Boutique Chalet Company in April 2024 and worked in a private home in Cornwall for the summer. One reason being is that we didn't have the right visa to work in France all year round at the time, and it gave us a really nice opportunity to go and work in a private household as a domestic couple together, and something that we wouldn't necessarily have chosen to do, but we have great memories of that now. Working on the front in Padstow, cycling to the fishmongers, getting fresh fish, and working for a really nice family that we got on really well with. But when we were approached by a recruiting agent about this job, and we just saw the location, we jumped on it, and with it came a 12-month CDI contract, which will then lead us to residency in France, which in itself is really hard to come by. The fact that we came out here on a working holiday visa for Boutique Chalet Company, and we didn't really think it would be possible to find a job where we could get that permanent visa, especially working together. We had a couple of offers separately this time last year for a couple of companies, but we couldn't find a job jobs where they were sort of both offering CDIs at the same time. And so it's going to Cornwall was a complete reset, and it paid off. And now I honestly wake up feeling like we've won the lottery every morning. This is just what we dreamt of, and yeah, it's a little bit crazy. So yeah, the story of the video tells the path of the last 18 months.
So it's definitely worth mentioning that. Like, it's not all plain sailing and smooth. You know, there are elements of the UK that we miss. Best mate having a baby, for example, missing family. And then on top of that, it's the two of us here running a chalet between us, which can be quite intense, but we have assessed, and definitely the pros outweigh the cons at the moment, in the sense that when we have downtime, the downtime looks like, you know, what we've just shown you, and when people come out, they can come and enjoy it with us. But the challenges have been there, and hopefully now 18 months on, we're sort of looking at it going, we've come through the hard part and we can plan forward. We've got the right visa, we're only an hour from Geneva, then from Liverpool back to North Wales isn't far, so hopefully all those things are accounted for. But certainly worth mentioning, in the sense that, you know, there have been some challenges along the way. Just rolling back into Morsey now. And it is very green. Some people would say it looks like this in the winter, but it doesn't. Anyway, along the way, I have also retrained professionally as a cycling coach under the guidance of High North Performance. I was coached by High North in 2022 and 2023. It's a system that I firmly believe in. The theory behind it is incredible. And now I get to work with athletes in the industry, competing all across the world. I have clients in America, Spain, but also I'm a self-coached athlete now, developing my own performance in the hill climb scene. And it's all through the High North Performance Library. And this led me to my highest position, finishing 12th at British Nationals last season. And I'm very grateful for the progress I've made under their guidance.
This summer is totally different for me, where I have a hill climb season in Haute-Savoie, the Trophy des Grimpiers. So the first one, like I said, is on the Col de Saxel, then it spans across to Saint-Ouen, which the Dauphiné went up. I've got a hill climb at Alpe d'Huez. I've got a hill climb at the Galibier, which is 35 kilometres, which in comparison to what I normally race up in the UK is a little bit different. For example, Nationals was, I think, 1.2 kilometres last year. The winning time was 3:09, whereas the Galibier is going to be a good hour and a half at least. So we'll have to see how we go. And then there's a double header up in the Col de la Loze and Meribel. But we also have a big weekend in Switzerland where I'll be attempting a triple header of qualification for the World Time Trial Championships on the Friday night, the World Gravel Championships on the Saturday, and then the Road UCI World Amateur Qualification on the Sunday. So it's a triple header in Villars in Swiss, which we'll be making a cool video about.
So, if you enjoyed this video, thank you very much. And please follow along, and hopefully we'll see you for the next one, where we are looking at a training week in Mallorca, preparing for the hill climb season across Haute-Savoie and in the Alps. So hopefully see you again. Cheers.